Pre 9/11, the U.S. was given several warnings by a man named Ahmad Massoud, leader, commander of the Afghan National Resistance Front. Those warnings stated that there was an imminent terrorist attack that was going to happen on U.S. soil. And his warnings were completely ignored by the administration at the time.
Hey fam, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the man cave. Hope everyone out there is having a good hump day. Happy hump day. We're halfway there, y'all. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. We're back with another daily reaction. I don't know, I got in trouble. I guess I was doing this when I said daily reactions. I didn't even realize it. I'm not a Satanist. I don't promote that, I promise. Every little thing I do on here, I'm getting hammered, y'all. YouTube's a trip. But anyways, y'all, we're back with another reaction. We got a longer video. 36 minutes long, plus me rambling on. It's probably going to be about 45 minutes, so I hope you guys enjoy these longer videos. I know I've gotten a lot of requests from you guys to do longer videos. Well, here you go. Enough with the chit chat. Let's get into the reaction.
And this is what everybody needs to focus on. In 1960s, when I was a kid, 6% of Americans had chronic disease. What do I mean by chronic disease? Basically 3 categories plus obesity. 1, neurological disorders: ADD, ADHD, speech delay, language delay, tics, Tourette syndrome, narcolepsy, ASD, autism. Autism went from 1 in 10,000 in my generation. It's still 1 in 10,000 in my generation. How old are you?
55.
50. Well, I bet that you've never met anybody with full-blown autism your age. You know, head banging, football or helmet on, non-toilet trained, non-verbal. I mean, I've never met anybody like that my age, but in my kids' age, now 1 in every 34 kids has autism, and half of those are full-blown, meaning that description.
Now, what's the conventional explanation for that?
Well, I mean, there's no real explanation. You know,
how do they try to
they try to say, well, we're just noticing it more, which is ridiculous because, first of all, there's all kinds of studies that say that really good studies, like Irva Hertzbachota is a very famous scientist, epidemiologist, biostatistician, who was commissioned by the California State Legislature to answer that question. She's at the UC, at the Mind Institute at UC Davis, and she came back and said, no, the epidemic is real. It's not, better diagnostic or changing diagnostic criteria. And so, and that, any real scientist now, even the big backers like Poloff, it won't. I don't think even he will say that. But nobody from CDC is actually going to stand up and say that. They certainly won't debate the point. But even more so, if it's not an epidemic, then where are the 1 in 34 69-year-old men who are wearing helmets and non-toilet trained? If you got autism, you live forever. It doesn't affect lifespan. These kids are gonna be around forever, but there's nobody my age who looks like that. So if it was really better recognition, you'd see it in every age group, not just in children. Not only that, but it changes every year. It gets worse and worse every year.
It's got to be the food, right? Right or wrong? What do you guys think? I think it's got to be the food, all these mental health problems, all that, all the junk food, all the processed food we're eating, myself included, dealing with mental health. Processed food, when I eat it, my symptoms just go, right? So I truly believe, I'm not saying you'll cure them, right? But it won't be as severe if you put them on a good eating regimen.
These teeth, I be brushing them until you know what's good that I be brushing my teeth with a lot? Baking soda, coconut oil. You gotta use your activated charcoal. Why you don't use activated charcoal? You be saying all the time you want your teeth to be whiter, you want your teeth to be whiter. Why don't you use activated charcoal? Why you don't use it? Just put a little bit of it in your hand, dip your toothbrush in it, and brush your teeth with it. Why you don't do that? And then oil pull with coconut oil. Activated charcoal, it's the automatic detox. It detoxes you from the inside. It pulls the detox. Take you a couple activated charcoal tablets before you start drinking. You won't have a hangover in the morning. Or take them after you get done drinking before you go to bed. And you should be cool.
you are not crazy if you think Bob Barker, Dr. Ruth, or Richard Simmons has died before. I thought that this weekend. I was going crazy. I just did a post, and there are so many people that have the same reality, that there's so many people that have the same version of timeline. Here's my question: is this CERN? Is CERN doing something? Did we jump timelines? Or did what happened this weekend cause us to jump timelines? Are we doing it ourselves? That's another question. Like, there are so many people just in the comments, look at my last video, so many people have just had the same kind of memories, and that is too similar. This isn't a coincidence. So are we jumping the timelines ourselves because it was tragic? And like, you know, like when something happens tragically in your life and you can block it out, are we jumping this timeline ourselves? Or was this a CERN thing? Did they fire this up? Or are they doing something to us? All I know is there's a lot of us and we're here, and it's just like, why? Or are we here for a purpose? How did we get here? All I know is that every time that I respond to a comment, everybody feels passionate about what they remember. And it's like, when this happened this weekend, we all saw it and we all knew it. Something was off. Something was off, but now we're here, and like, are we here to do something? Are we here to communicate to each other? I don't know, but I like the conversation.
But if you look back in ancient times, Bronze Age, Golden Age, all of that, they used tons of copper. They used tons of bronze. They used tons of tin. They used tons of brass. It's interesting. So if it was really toxic, why were they all using it? That's all they were using. But then when the Iron Age came, they basically inverted everything. And that's when certain groups of people took over, and they got rid of all the copper, and they got rid of the bronze, and they got rid of all the tin, and they replaced it with iron, because they understood that if you started putting iron into the soil, you could diminish your yields, and you can also diminish the life force of the soil. So it's interesting because a lot of flips, right? Just a lot of flipping and a lot of inverting. And that's what we see today with all the media, right? The Greek goddess, the media, you can look into that as well too, but that's what that is. They always invert everything. When you watch something and you're like, why would they even say that? Because they're trying to invert it, and they're trying to normalize it, to desensitize us, to make it seem like it's all completely normal, that this should be on television, right? They're telling you a vision because they're trying to enforce that vision into your mind and deep into your subconscious mind to make it normal and make it okay so that you agree with it.
Watch this. This is why you have to be so careful.
By the real witches of New Orleans saying you're playing with fire and you gotta change up your chants. It's true. So in season 1, when I was the writer's assistant, I wrote the chants, and I would go online and like look up spells. I was like, why not? And then I'd like change a couple words. I'd go and I'd like figure out a spell, and then like go and change a couple words to French, and a couple words to like Creole, a couple words to like Haitian Creole. Or you can Google translate. You Google translate to Haitian Creole, and then I'd like throw some Latin in. And I was just like making some spells, and then we got a call from a woman in New Orleans who was like, I think that you're playing with fire. I think that you're, what are you trying to do? You're putting these spells in everybody's living room all across America. Like, we were like the person everybody watching the show. And then I started making shit up a little weirder.
After that, she said they started making things a little weirder. So these people in these shows are casting actual spells on the viewers, and people are broadcasting it into their homes. Your eyes and your ears are gates. So they're literally putting curses into people's homes based on just them watching and streaming the show into their homes. Follow me if you want to learn more.
See, now I believe that, right? They put things in TV. I remember when I was going through everything with what I told you guys in the past, my mental health problem I have, but my mental illness I have, right? I remember when I used to watch, like the sitcoms, King of Queens, right? I used to love King of Queens, George Lopez, the smart guy back in the day, right? When I used to watch those and I would hear, how in the background they got like the fake laughs. Those laughs used to be laughing at me. What they were talking about, was against me. I used to, just see things in the TV, and I wonder now if I had maybe not another dimension, but maybe just a barrier in my mind that was because of what I was going through was down. So I got to see what TV really does to you, how it affects you, how it affects your mood, how it affects your day, your vibe. Because it used to really freak me out when I would be, and I wouldn't even be high, y'all. That stuff happens when you're high. This was me sober. That high never went away. And I used to really deal with that with TV. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't listen to the radio. I couldn't do none of that. So I believe that they put things in TV, and it's television, y'all.
To the index of boom heard over New York City today, and tonight NASA believes it was a meteor, perhaps flying over the Statue of Liberty.
Well, Pat, we had to talk about this, a mysterious boom. Has a lot of people talking around our area today.
And NASA has just confirmed it was a meteor. Take a look at... Today, people were reporting seeing a fireball in the sky and hearing booms. And now we're learning from NASA Meteor Watch is saying that they believe this was indeed a meteor that was first sighted in Upper Bay, headed east, and then descended at a steep angle of just 18 degrees, vertical, passing over the Statue of Liberty before disintegrating 29 miles above Midtown. NASA said there also was some military activity happening at the same time of all of this, and so that may account for some of the shaking or the boom that residents felt. There is a man that was working in New Jersey when this all happened, and he felt this, or actually saw this meteor come across his window as he was working. This is video of it right now. This is Judah Bergman, and you can see him just jump up and fly over and go, what was that? What's interesting is that very few people like Judah actually saw this meteor. Most of the people heard this sound, which may not have actually been connected to it, but take a listen to what people had to say.
There was a big kind of boom sound, really kind of didn't know initially if it came from a construction site nearby or there was a car crash or something to that effect, but I've never seen either a dog, a golden retriever, and a cat, both of which the golden retriever jumped out of his skin and the cat just darted under the sofa.
It was long and really, really fast. Looked like a flaming long rod over something, like on fire and flying through the sky. It was a little interesting to me that it was almost horizontal, like I think of meteors, I think like they're going straight into the ground, and this one looked like it still has some ways to go.
Well, look, we're learning from NASA that it did actually come down, thankfully, 29 miles above Midtown and disintegrated, so no meteorites came from it. You know, it's not uncommon, meteorologists say, to see meteors at this time of the year in the summer. Back to you.
An asteroid as massive as an aircraft carrier and the size of the Empire State Building on a collision course with Earth. It is not expected to get here until 2182, but
Now, NASA debunked that guy real quick, right? But I remember, I forgot to tell you guys, a couple months ago, I woke up, it had to be 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, right? I woke up out of my sleep to a loud, like, snappy noise. It sounded like a real bad thunder. Like the type of thunder when you have, like, a pan, like a cooking pan, and you, like, shake it. Like one of those. And I didn't know what it was. I was asleep. So in my mind, I was like, my dogs didn't get affected. So I was like, I must have been asleep. So, you know, I paid it no mind, went back to sleep. And then a couple days later on the news, I'll try to find this clip and put it on. It happened a couple months ago, so it's old news. But It was a meteor like that, right? That somebody got on their Ring camera, and I put two and two together. That was around 3-4 o'clock. Like that must have been what woke me up. It was a loud snapping noise.
Is facing a extremely dangerous winter storm.
Now this, I don't know if this clip is from, when Texas had that real bad freeze a couple of years ago, and they just put the voiceover on this, but it says July 18th, 2025. I'm guessing in July of next year is when the freeze is going to happen, the middle of summer. Interesting, so I threw it on.
A disaster declaration has already been declared for all 254 counties in Texas. Every part of the state of Texas will face freezing conditions, meaning that includes all the way down to Brownsville, Texas, will face freezing conditions over the coming days. Many of those locations across the state of Texas, the high temperature for a day will be in the single digits. The severity of the cold weather that is about to be experienced here in the coming days is unprecedented in Texas history. And we need people across the state to get ready for this extremely harsh conditions that are coming.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know what that was. I saw it on here.
They've been hiding this from you. The Bermuda Triangle isn't just a mysterious region. It's a gateway to another dimension. But that's not even the craziest thing that was recently discovered. In declassified naval reports, there are accounts of ships and planes vanishing, saying they disappeared without a trace, as if swallowed by the sea. These incidents have occurred for decades. So what's really happening in the Bermuda Triangle? This is where things get scary. In recently uncovered documents from a top-secret military project, it said that the Bermuda Triangle is not just a danger zone, but a portal created by an advanced ancient civilization known as the Atlanteans. The documents specifically mention that the Atlanteans, who had mastered interdimensional travel, established the Bermuda Triangle as a gateway to another realm, which has since become unstable and causes the mysterious disappearances. However, once the Atlanteans disappeared, the technology behind the portal was lost, and the true nature of the Bermuda Triangle was concealed to prevent widespread panic and exploitation. This explains why so many ships and planes have vanished without explanation, and why the Bermuda Triangle remains one of the world's most enigmatic mysteries.
AI, no such promise. Well, what are they telling us today? Well, it's going to eliminate, 80% of white-collar jobs. And it's also going to become smarter than we are, and then it's going to become autonomous, so our lives will be dictated by a machine. The machine will be bossing us around. And you think to yourself, well, that doesn't sound very good. What's the upside? And they're like, upside? No one mentioned an upside, but that's just going to happen. And you're like, well, then why are we doing this? Why doesn't someone nuke the server farms? Well, because we can't do that. Because China will just do it. Okay, well, how about we nuke their server farms? I mean, what? If there's going to be a disaster, and we know it's going to be a disaster, why isn't somebody doing anything about it? Can't. Free markets. Okay, so you're all insane. Okay, so that's the first thing I know. They don't even tell us what the good news is. It's just all downside.
Milwaukee, any Milwaukeeans out there? I'm guessing that was because of the convention. But Milwaukee, right? Don't kill me if it wasn't. I believe it was. Or why is this happening? Looks like COVID times. Crazy memories how fast that's gone, right? In the past, no one talks about COVID no more. The lockdowns, remember that? We're gonna have to find some old COVID videos for tomorrow's video. Let me know if you guys want some of those.
Listen up, because you're all going to want to pay attention to this.
This is important.
Pre 9/11, the U.S. was given several warnings by a man named Ahmad Massoud, leader, commander of the Afghan National Resistance Front. Those warnings stated that there was an imminent terrorist attack that was going to happen on U.S. soil. And his warnings were completely ignored by the administration at the time. And we all know how that ended.
9/11.
It ended with the World Trade Center falling to the ground, killing thousands and thousands of Americans, putting us in a 20-plus year war. Now, Massoud was assassinated 2 days before 9/11, and he's survived by his son, also Ahmad Massoud, who's following in a parallel pattern of his father's footsteps, also now the leader of the Afghan National Resistance Front. And Massoud is once again warning the United States that there is an imminent threat for a terrorist attack to take place once again right here on U.S. soil.
That's sad, dude.
And once again, his warnings are falling on deaf ears and being completely ignored. In fact, as D.C. tries to cover up the way the Afghan withdrawal happened, they've blacklisted him from coming to the U.S.
That's insane, dude.
And so SRS has taken action.
That's fucking insane.
We've created a petition. The link is below in the description. And I urge every veteran who fought in the global war on terrorism to sign that petition.
Do it.
And if you have a family member who fought in that war, sign the petition. And if you're a citizen who's concerned that what Massoud is telling us is actually true and there is an imminent threat to the U.S. that there will be a terrorist attack, I urge you to sign the petition.
Absolutely.
We're going to get the petition to Representative McCall, who is chairman of the House of Foreign Affairs Committee. He's over the State Department. He can get Massoud in front of Congress so Congress can hear what that man has to say about these threats.
This needs to happen.
And about the way that withdrawal happened. Trust me, this is in all of our best interest.
Literally.
Sign the petition.
Will do.
Links in the description.
Check this.
Now, I'm a big fan of Sean Ryan's podcast. Highly recommend it. And he says, whatever you want to use it. No copyrights ever. Spread the word, right? Now, what if something does happen? Right? And that dude was right. 9 times out of 10, nothing's going to happen in the near future. Who knows? Who knows when it's going to happen? But what if? Right? And the fact they don't want to listen to him.
Now, you guys, and this is some Truman Show stuff over here, y'all. So this guy goes hiking in the forest, and he comes across this huge wall with like trees like painted on it, y'all. Check this out. It's like a 3-dimensional look. Look at that, y'all. You could barely tell. And then you see the trees behind that. Like, what is that all about? Bro, y'all see that? It's just like the Truman Show when he got to the edge of the world, y'all, and he noticed that it was literally a wall that is literally painted there, y'all. Look at this. Look at this, just like the Truman Show. Can't go further than that. But yeah, what is that about, y'all? In the middle of the forest? That's creepy. Like, what do you think they're doing?
Listen, it's a code.
What's going on?
Everybody seen the blood on his ear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which ear was it?
I'm not sure.
It was his right ear.
Okay.
All right. The right ear mean the rightful heir. With the blood right, hears, meaning I hear the rightful heir. I'm going to tell you out of everything that went on that everybody missed. He told the military it's go time in your face.
He said that?
He did it with sign language.
Okay.
First he did like this, right? That means hold your position. Then he did this again, hold your position. Then he did it and he started doing like this. Move. It's time to go. Whatever they got planned is about to blow. I don't know what it is, but I got my popcorn. I'm sitting back watching. Look, Donald the Duck just became Howard the Duck.
Oh, man.
I'm not missing that dedication in Jerusalem.
without the airplane that we have that I bought from Tyler Perry, and I didn't pay anywhere. And Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
Well, my question then, okay, all right, but I want to get to the demons because people are very concerned about that comment.
Give me a chance here, Inside Edition. I love your eyes.
Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example?
Yes, I do.
Okay, again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that term then? Just explain, because it's really simple. You said you didn't want to get into it.
You know, so one thing no one's talking about that is very likely that could happen, a power outage. So imagine power outage happens. No light, no fridge, food is no longer good, no phone charger, phone is done, no internet. What happens to your life? FYI, come on, Pat. That would never happen to us. So let me give you our score. Threat assessment from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence stated that Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea have the capability to cause harm to the energy grid. What? Also at the same time, the Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm confirmed that America's adversaries possess the capability to shut down the grid. What?
Yes,
Look at all those people that were just in the vicinity, right?
Yes,
Citizens. Look at them all. We got one, we got them, we got a group over there, people over here hiding. It's crazy, y'all. War's just crazy.
There are only two animals on the planet that the Creator identified himself with. The first one is the eagle. The eagle. And the second animal is the lion. And when I identified those two animals as his favorite to identify himself with, I recognized I better study these two animals, because if he is the leader of the universe and I want to be a leader on earth, I better find out the nature of these animals and also the attitude of these animals. And I discovered that both of them are the kings of their domain. The eagle is the king of the bird kingdom, and the lion is the king of the animal kingdom. But let's talk a little bit about the lion. The lion has what I call the spirit of leadership. And this word spirit here is referring to attitude. Everybody say attitude.
No, and this is how you know simulation is broke. Look, the sun is over there. No clouds, no clouds, no clouds. This cloud over there. But where's the shadow for this cloud coming from if the sun is behind me? Check this out.
Okay, I'm losing my mind. Can we look at this huge circle in the sky? And then look at our sun with the rainbow around it. Then there's also a circle around that. This is wild. And then there's a huge circle.
Two suns and a pyramid.
And this is what the sun is looking like today. Looking like the cosmic womb. That's that lemon. That's what Elon Musk meant. Orange is the new lemon. Look at this, boy.
I don't know what that is.
It was in yesterday's video.
Whatever it is, it's very...
Linen sheets. That's what they used to use back in the 1900s. Linen sheets. They knew that it would heal you faster because of all the light frequency coming off the linen. So they put people on the linen sheets. They'd get them out real quick. Now, DuPont plastic. That's what people are wrapped in, which builds up a whole bunch of static, makes them more sick over time. Linen is the original way to go. If you're not sleeping in linen sheets and you're suffering from restless leg syndrome, could be fixed like that with just a little bit of linen. And the cool thing is, once you buy linen, you don't got to buy them again. They last a lifetime. Like, you don't need to keep buying more sheets because you already got sheets. That's the cool part about quality and buying quality. I highly recommend everybody go into this book. You know, if you're suffering from one of the big, such as the big C, maybe diabetes, any heart-related issues, maybe ringing of the ears, this is a book to look into.
Invisible
Electricity
Rainbow?
and radio frequencies can play a big
I'm
role.
due for a new book.
And since we're being bombarded with this nonsense, and it's all over the place, this is a great book to jump into.
The NTP toxicity study that was done by the United States government, it was released on November 1st, 2018. They did it on nocturnal mammals. They used 1G, 2G, and 3G phones. Okay? This is way before 5G. In those animals, they found humongous problems. You can look this study up on the internet. Every G causes a different resonance problem. Like 1G isn't equivalent to 5. 4 isn't equivalent to 5.
And you mean like different tuning fork issue?
Correct. Certain people have different mitochondrial haplotypes. We also have different skin types. Every single screen. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself why we need Dan Huber's glasses? Because they have found through the programs that the government sponsored, you know, at Tulane Neurosurgery and Neurology, it's called MK Ultra, that they were able to control people through light waves, wires in their head to figure out how they can control the behavior of monkeys. That's actually was done in a place close to where I went to medical school. I knew about all of these studies.
So we can be controlled by light waves?
No, not we can, we are.
We are.
Okay? Update your knowledge base. Why does every computer have a blue light screen? Why doesn't it come pre-loaded with Flux or Iris? Well, there's a reason for that. Do you know what the reason is? Because the blue light lowers your dopamine and melatonin level so that you become addicted. Who got that information first? Was it the CIA through the MK Ultra program? No, it wasn't. It was the mafia. You know how they got it? It's how they build Las Vegas. They put a city in a desert, in a geopathic stress zone, has shitty water, shitty magnetism, a great light. Now what they do, they put casinos out there, blocked all the light, and put one-armed bandits in there that made nothing but blue light. You know what the mafia found out by doing that? They didn't have to use a gun to stick you up to steal your money. Then they got even smarter. Then they started getting really pretty girls deliver you alcohol drinks for free. So dopamine levels fell sooner. You gave them your money faster. But, hey, can we somehow stop putting the wires in the monkey's head and maybe think about how to do this differently? Because you know that wires in the head deliver electricity, brain works on a DC electric current. That should mean that it must work on light at some level. Well, along comes the people in Silicon Valley in the 50s and 60s, and we get semiconductors. What do we know about semiconductors? When you put electric into it, it makes what? LED. What does LED stand for? A light emitting diode. That's kind of interesting. So when you see the science developing all at the same time, and you realize the criminals were smarter than the centralized doctors. Didn't I tell you that story about the Colombian drug cartel? Isn't this funny how the same thing is happening again? So a guy named Delgado, who is a PhD researcher, he went down to Mexico, where you took your mom, and he put the wires directly into the bull's head and put the guy in there, and they had a remote controller, and they stopped the bull right away from running in to the guy electrically. So then the next part of the experiment was
without electrocution, just electric.
Oh no, you're not going to get electrocuted. It's just electricity.
Yeah.
You modulate the frequency. Look, it's just like Lutron shades you have in your house. You turn it up and down, the light goes up and down. Same thing with these controllers. So the next step in their program was, let's get rid of the wires. Let's just put a microchip that's a semiconductor in the brain, kind of like Elon Musk is doing right now with Neuralink, right? Scary, huh? And what do? They were able to control electrically, photoelectrically, wirelessly. So then what did they next do? They said, could we use light to do the same thing? And guess what they magically found? That when you use light, you can control mammals. Through their patent attorneys, they own all the patents for blue light technology through screens. Do you think that potentially that all of these things have been used to control different things around you and doing different things? The answer is yes. Why is digital babysitting so successful for parents? Because the baby becomes much easier to control. Have you ever tried to take an iPad away from a 2-year-old that's already addicted to it? One of the things it cleaves to beta endorphin. What is beta endorphin? The natural opiate that your brain makes. So guess what? When you're around this electromagnetic pollution, you lose that beta endorphin, so you need an exogenous hit from dopamine or from... That's how this works. This all came from this study. But I want you to know it graduated from covert work done at institutions like Tulane, at Johns Hopkins, at the Mayo Clinic, at Harvard University. Then it jumped into big tech. Remember the old screens? We didn't use those screens that used to play those stupid video games. Now they became blue lit. And guess who owns all those patents? The guys that control the algorithms. Oh, didn't I mention algorithms to you about centralized medicine? So let me ask you a question. Do you make more or less money when you have obedient idiots as your target audience?
They're not elite.
That dude was preaching. I liked it. But a little to his casino thing, right? I used to go to Vegas once or twice a year, right? Probably 4 or 5 hour drive from where I lived in Phoenix. I went to Laughlin one day because I don't drink, right? I'm sober now. I went to Laughlin, tried gambling, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this does not make sense, right? Because before I'd be taking shot, bring me a shot with a beer. So I'd be getting tore up, give me some more, right? The alcohol really makes you keep going, because when I did it sober, I lasted probably $100, right? Probably at the most, because I kept telling myself like, nah, just have fun. Like, this is what this money's for. It's to blow out here, right? I maybe got up to 100. I was already thinking this at 40. Probably got up to 100, and I was like, you know what? I'm done gambling. I haven't been back since. I probably won't ever go back unless my lady or, you know, her friends want to go or something. I'll tag along. But like, if it's my choice saying like it used to be like, hey, let's go to Vegas, that ain't happening no more.
They've always been here. There are forces that are not human, that do exist in a spiritual realm of some kind, that we cannot see, and that when you think about it, sort of make you think we live in an ant farm. That is real, okay?
The thing that struck me most about the interview is that Carlson is saying, I kind of got what's going on, and I don't want to know anymore.
And I've actually stopped gathering string on, as we say in reporting, stopped gathering string in this, gathering information, because I'm satisfied that I know enough, and I don't really want to know that much more.
Excuse me, you're a bloody journalist. You're supposed to be now an alternative journalist. Of course you want to know. What's the first thing, if you were a proper journalist and you came across this information, what's the first thing you'd do? You'd look at who's been saying this, in my case, since the 1990s, and you'd say, hey, you come on my show with its massive audience. Tell us what you found. What's your view of what's going on? That's what you do. But it doesn't happen, as it doesn't happen with Rogan either. There has to be a reason for that. One of the things that I've been pointing out over the decades is how, if you look at religions and if you look at ancient cultures and tribal legends and accounts, there is an absolute common theme between them.
Yep.
And that is that a non-human force operating from the hidden is manipulating human society. It's a very compelling, coordinated agreement between what is otherwise a disparate group of different groups and beliefs. Carlson, in this interview, is acknowledging that. It would be nice, actually, if any of them that speak about this in a mild way, acknowledge the guy who's been saying this since 1996 and taken untold shit and abuse and ridicule for saying it.
Profession. You don't know much about that. Okay, can we get a close up on that? Yeah, what is the profession? Yeah, which profession are we talking about? Just look at it. Is it a legal profession? Of course it's legal. It's a legal profession. I'm trying to read it. Okay. It's too many times. It's too bright. It's too bright. Well, anyway, Mason, are you a Mason? Of course I am. Okay. The secret stairway. The point is, you might as well put your pinky out when you drink. Pinky out. You know, the secret stairway. So anyway, let's do it first. But that is impressive, still, deal. I don't have a check. Anyway, so like, look,
starting to get going down here. We are
Say
right
it ain't
across
so.
the street from Bush Stadium off 8th Street, really right below Highway 40 or I-64. Behind us, you can see some military vehicles and military members
8.4.
starting to arrive and get ready to go for this exercise. The drills start today. Really, this is more of a prep day, and then they run through Wednesday. The downtown area will be even busier than usual with this large-scale training taking place. Bob Marino, Automotive Group Skyfox can show you the scene over us live right now. Again, we're in this parking lot just south of Bush Stadium. Vehicles just starting to arrive as things start to amp up here for this training. We can also show you some video that we captured a little earlier as military vehicles started making their way through downtown St. Louis. The exercises here are being facilitated by the Michigan National Guard working in conjunction with the Missouri National Guard. The drill scenario here involves an 8.4 magnitude earthquake from the New Madrid seismic fault hitting the St. Louis area. The training is going to focus on a simulated response to structural damage, civilian casualties, and chemical contamination in the vicinity of Busch Stadium during a baseball game. Organizers tell us some 500 people are taking part in this drill. It also involves river crossings along the Mississippi between St. Charles and Grafton in the event that bridges could be damaged by a major disaster like an earthquake. These exercises are not open to the public. Authorities say drivers along 40 or 64 near Bush could see this equipment and exercises taking place. I-55 drivers might also see some military traffic this morning. These exercises are going to use a lot of material, including helicopters and vehicles, damaged vehicles and debris, and there will be multiple staging areas near Busch Stadium. One note for drivers, 8th and Clark right by Busch will be closed during the day as these exercises unfold. This is the first time that St. Louis is hosting these exercises. Last year, similar exercises took place in Nashville. We have more vehicles starting to kind of pull in here as this starts to get going. More military vehicles, some St. Louis police vehicles just around the area here, all taking part in this exercise. For now, live downtown, Chris Bringay, Fox News.
Missouri, stay on your feet. And they don't do that unless they got something coming up that they know that we don't. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. Longer video, right? Hope you guys are enjoying the longer videos. Let me know down below if you guys like it. If you made it this far, that like, subscribe, comment, share. Let me know what you guys thought. You guys like the content? I feel like I've been getting better content, better videos. I found out a way to make it so much easier on myself, but I appreciate all the love you guys have been showing. This is Segovia, signing out of the Man Cave, daily upload. So guess what? I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys don't get sick of me. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. Later.